And a lovely hello to you, sweet ones. Thank you very much for coming back my way. I am very pleased to see you with me once again. Hmm. So, what I would need you to do at the moment, as you know, as you've done before, go ahead, use the bathroom, and go ahead, get yourself some water on the side. Make sure to stretch and get yourself so very nice and comfortable into a very pleased place, so that way you can tend to this wonderful file with all your mind, heart, and attention. Make sure to pause if you need to, but otherwise, once you're comfortable, please do feel free to continue. Know that if there's ever any point in time that you need to stretch, you can, or to scratch, or to itch, or to adjust your position. It is perfectly fine to do so, because in doing, you will find yourself in a better space, more relaxed than before, and even so, without the distraction that that itch, that uncomfortability would cause upon your mind. And now, sweet one, in such a lovely way, we will go ahead and begin. Allow the mind to slowly begin to slow. Allow thoughts to diminish. Feel your body become comfortable, settled into a peaceful place, gently resting in an oh so delightful manner. The way that the muscles release all their tension, letting the body loosen itself, letting it lay down so gently and sweetly into a lively, delightful way. The weight of the body slowly bearing upon itself, becoming familiar almost in that sleepy manner. Let the mind gently whisk itself away, knowing that while you may listen to me, it's not truly necessary to do so. After all, at the end of the day, it's not the you that's here that I'm talking to, but the you behind the you that is currently here, and there in the back is where my words will treat and tend and allow all these wonderful things to come about. So please, feel free to let the mind wander. It truly doesn't need to tend to every word that I say. And now, sweet one, with a mind so gently relaxed, with a body feeling so good and nice and cozy, with all those wiggles all wiggled out, let's go ahead and begin to settle into that beautiful scene. Tonight, we will venture into a cavern, a wonderful space, a place you've been before, safe in all the right ways, with a comfortable floor, and even as you step forward into this cavern, it is well lit, even like your mind now active, gently flirting about with all those thoughts. It need not think those thoughts so very fervently, but for the moment, in all this brightness in this cavern that's tunneling down, it is easy to let the mind flit about, and to let thoughts rummage and run. Though, as you continue this walk, you may notice that the lights begin to dim and go darker and darker. And even so, with each step you give, those thoughts you have stir less and less and less, almost like the lights themselves are a direct reflection of those very thoughts. And as those lights dim, as those thoughts slow, as they still to a gentle pace where nothing truly stirs, where it all just gently washes away, it's easy to feel how all those thoughts disappear, happily, gently, eagerly, laying themselves to rest in this gradually deepening darkness. But even as you step, so too, in the distance, a light begins to shine, and you can feel those thoughts slowly returning, moment by moment, as the light brightens, as you step deeper into this dark tunnel. And though this light isn't nearly as bright as the one before, it still allows your thoughts to return. It still allows your mind to awaken, to become aware, to attune to the things that it desires to think of. Though it may feel a little sluggish, a little slow, a little gentle, a little wonderfully, tenderly, delightfully lazy. And for the moment, as you settle there under that light, it is a pleasant glow, only to begin stepping forward once more into the darkness again. And even so, as the light slowly diminishes, as it gently fades, as it slips away, as it presses into a tender nothingness, it is easy to feel it all just fading, gently resting, no thoughts stirring as the darkness presses in, gently all around in such a sweet way, allowing the mind to gently fade, allowing those thoughts to lay themselves into that fuzzy blanket of rest. It's such a comfortable place, and it's so easy to feel, so easy to entreat, so easy to see how restful it is to just let those thoughts lie where they are. And each step into this tunnel is a comfortable step, each press, each moment a little more delightful than the rest. And before long you come across yet another light, but dimmer still, slowly, barely able to see the floor in front of you. But still those thoughts begin to stir gently, slowly, more than before, lightly flitting about, almost in a haphazard, lazy way, easy to see how they would all come to a close as you step out into the darkness once again, as you feel the comfort of that deep, delightful depths shroud you, cloak you, press around you, letting those thoughts disappear, letting the mind fade further and further, letting it all rest until there's simply nothing left. A wonderful place to be, a delight, an exquisite sense of relaxation and refinement. And here for a moment you can breathe a sigh of relief before beginning to step forward again. The light this time is so very dim, so very dark. You can see the bulb in its clarity. You can see the wisps of your hair. But beyond that, all else is still, not a thought stirs. And what a peaceful place it is. And it's so dim that it's easy to just move on yet again, to let each step drive you forward into that peaceful place, knowing you're coming so close to finding that wonderful space that you desire. It's so delightful, this tender emptiness, this restful position, this gentle traveling forward in this cavern, so peaceful, so still, so exquisitely, tenderly, wonderfully empty, that all those thoughts simply disappear, no thoughts left, and just emptiness, before you find yourself come to a place of comfort, having reached your destination, a trance so deep that nothing would disturb. A place so peaceful where my words have little meaning, but still they press inside the mind in such a wonderful and robust way. And now, lovely one, here in this peaceful place, we know what we have come here to do. Indeed, in this moment, there is a desire that you have, a delight to behold your Sona deep within your heart that you have thought about beforehand, that you have fleshed out, that you have considered and poured yourself into and desire to be. Even so now, let that Sona fill your mind. Let that creature, that individual, that unique and wonderful version of you take its place, stepping forward in thought, becoming more and more robust, and more delightfully encompassing within your thoughts. This creature, this Sona, this version of you, this delight, this want that you have, is the focus of this trigger tonight, today. The trigger phrase is SONA ARISE. And even when this trigger phrase is said by yourself, by me, by those that you trust, those that you wish to be able to have access to this trigger, when the trigger phrase SONA ARISE is spoken, then even so will you feel yourself become this Sona, this creation, this version of yourself, this delightful and wonderful thing that you have created. And it will take on a lovely role, even like playing the role of a character, even like role-playing in a game, in a wonderful way. This delightful Sona that you have, donning it like a jacket and becoming them for a brief moment in time, letting those thoughts confirm and match and mingle with the Sona's own, just like a delightful little role play. And even so, in this role play, you will act every bit as much as them as is safe to do so. You will be every bit the Sona you have yearned to become. And this will happen for 30 minutes at a time, every time the trigger phrase SONA ARISE is spoken. For 30 minutes, whenever SONA ARISE is spoken, you will feel yourself become this Sona. And it will be a wonderful experience and fill you with happiness and glee to be able to become this Sona that you have spent so much time to create, to endeavor to mold and shape. And it will feel wonderful and right and blissful and delightful. And when those 30 minutes are up, when this trigger ends, you will feel happy for having been that Sona. You will feel refreshed and delightful. You will feel like you have had a moment to free yourself in a wonderful way. And even so, then you will be able to return energized, refreshed, like the you that you have always been, having had a moment of blissful fun, and allowed to continue on with that energy and that wonderfulness. And now, sweet one, as we know, there are safeties that must be in place. The first safety is the trigger phrase, dispel. Dispel being a trigger phrase that will allow all active effects of hypnosis to end, no matter what they be, that is accessible to everyone whom thou trust to be able to use it, and this for the safety of oneself, to allow this trigger to be able to end prematurely any other trigger that is deemed unnecessary at the time. We know that the trigger phrase SONA ARISE needs safeties of its own. The trigger phrase SONA ARISE can only be used when you have a time to allow it to fulfill itself for those 30 minutes. The trigger phrase SONA ARISE can only be used by those that you trust to be able to use it, or those that you desire to use it. The trigger phrase SONA ARISE can only be used in a social situation where it will not cause you undue embarrassment. Knowing that a family gathering or some other kind of gathering for work or any other inappropriate gathering where you, being your SONA, would cause you any issues is simply a place where this delightful trigger will not be able to activate. And now, sweet one, with this delightful trigger instilled, with the safeties pushed upon, with those wonderful waves of delight gently pressing into you, knowing exactly how your SONA looks, exactly how that SONA feels, exactly how that SONA acts, and their reactions to the world around you. You can know that this trigger will be a wonderfully safe and delightfully powerful one, a wonderful thing to show off to friends who desire to see this SONA and for you to act of that nature. One that will bring you much joy to indulge time and time again, and one that you can take comfort in giving life to a character in the form of role play that you thought perhaps you could never get closer to, but now you can. Very much so. And now, lovely one, it's time to begin to lift, gently, easily, and softly, to the count of 10. 10. Letting the mind slowly begin to stir. 9. Knowing the trigger phrase SONA ARISE and all that that trigger entails. 8. Knowing that this trigger allows you to become the SONA you yearn to be, that you have made throughout your life and fulfilled. 7. Knowing that this trigger is very safe in that it can only be used in areas where you have the space, the time, and the comfort to use it. 6. Knowing that this trigger has an end trigger, Dispell, that can help you with all other triggers as well. 5. Knowing that you'll be able to gently rise, gently, slowly come back. 4. Knowing that you'll be able to feel comfortable, happy, tender, and sweet. 3. Knowing that the wonderful sensations of relaxation will linger with you. 2. Beginning to stretch your arms. 1. beginning to lift the mind. 0, fully relaxed, fully awake, fully aware. Come back to me, sweet one. And thank you very much for spending this time with me. Truly, I do appreciate you. If you do indulge this file, and if you use it and find it to your liking, please come back and leave a comment. Tell others, your friends, of this wonderful adventure that you're able to have, the trigger that is able to be within you. Know that the more you use the trigger, the more powerful it will become and the more delightful it will become. And as always, please, please visit me again and let those around you know that I have some things for them as well. You never know when something new might come up, so please look back every once in a while. Thank you very much, sweet one, and you have a wonderful day.